Greetings and welcome to Alonzo Bash podcast. I'm your host, Alonzo Bash. And of course, man, today's special guest. Don't need no big city intro, man. Let me tell you something. This brother right here is a legend in the Caribbean media space, an icon, I would say, in Jamaica media, radio, and so forth. Ladies and gentlemen, let's waste no time. Mr. Kingsley Stewart. I should say Dr. Kingsley Stewart, aka RAGASHANTI. Welcome.
Greetings, man. Can't just call me Raga, man. No need for the doctor.
But give thanks. That's one thing I admire about you, is the fact that as you was in the Caribbean, you have a doctorate. Some people tend to, kind of act a little certain, what you call it,
Right.
bougie or bossy or whatever. But you
Yeah,
remain humble and true to yourself over the years, man. And one thing I really, really admire about you.
right. And it is intentionally, sir, particularly because of that thing that you mentioned with the Caribbean. It is something that is a residual convention that we have from our colonial background. That
Right.
focuses on stratification and thing and hierarchy and so forth. And
Mm,
unfortunately, that residue is still there.
yeah, yeah, so true, so true. All right, so let's get into your story, man. So you're born and raised. I'm not too sure. Would I say Kingston, Jamaica?
Yes, correct.
All right, all right. So what was it like? And them them early days. The family structure and so forth. Mom and dad and so forth was around as a kid.
No, no, never knew a father, just my mother. And it was what we refer to as, straight ghetto life.
Yeah, man.
But sometimes that have connotations of, perpetual negativity. But
Mm,
it wasn't all bad. It was good and bad.
yeah,
So it was good in that. I mean, never knew a father, whatever, but I had a loving mother and thing, a very religious mother and thing like that. So, who focused on discipline. And
mm,
who I am today is grounded in her vision.
mm,
It was just her organic way of seeing the world and thing. But her thing was the two most important thing in life are church and school. That's what she told me.
yeah,
So
yeah,
along those lines, her thing was just make sure you always embrace God and the books.
yeah,
So everything was, yeah, we got church. Those are the institutions that represented, what she believed in. So church and school. So you'd have to go church, you'd have to go school. So she was very uncompromising on that,
yeah,
despite having to, do what a single mother in a economically depressed community had to do. The challenges therein.
yeah,
But
man.
she was taking care of that, but at the same time not neglecting what she thought was a critical necessity, a critical component of your evolution, of your growth. Wherein make sure you go church, make sure
Mm,
you go school. So
yeah, man.
yeah,
Yeah, man. You always talk highly about your mom. Every time I get a chance to, take you in, you always talk so highly about your mother and so forth. What about your siblings? You have sisters, I believe.
I have a sister and a brother.
Okay, 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 okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
The brother is in Jamaica and the sister is here in America.
okay, nice, nice. So, where exactly in Kingston you grew up? What community in Kingston?
Right, yeah. We had to go. Oh, let me see if I can. I don't know if I can pull down some of the gain on my mic
Yeah,
because I don't know if is it bothering you, because sometimes I look at feedback and sometimes that's
yeah,
a
yeah,
consequence of the volume.
yeah. It's a little loud. It's a little loud.
No, 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 no. I mean, I hear a look. So I don't know what I want. I don't want it to bother you or sorry, I'm still. I'm here doing the interview, but I'm still
Yeah,
in the zone that I am usually in.
hey, this what happens. Listen, trust me. This what happens when two creators get together. You want to make sure it's perfect, But
Yeah, it's just like I don't want to spoil anything.
it's
All
a
right.
little, it's a little loud at your end, but yeah.
Mm-hmm. So,
Mm.
again, just remind me of the question just now, please.
Yeah, where exactly in Kingston that Kingston is a big place, you know what I mean? So
Yeah, all over.
mm,
Unfortunately, my mother moved a lot, a
yeah,
lot, a lot. But there were some areas that we spent,
yeah,
a longer time in, and those areas was initially we spent a long time in Waterhouse.
okay.
Then we spent a long time in Southside.
Mm,
And then we moved from Southside and we went to an area of Jake's Road,
mm,
between Jake's Road and Longstown Road. I look at Woodmill community at that time.
okay, okay.
And then we went back to Southside.
Yeah.
But and then we spent a good amount of time on a road called Henderson Avenue, which is between Waltham and Olympic Road, which is
Mm,
in another interesting area. And then outside of that, we lived in other places like Rollington Town. Oh, we lived off another place off the Waltham called Julian Drive. A lot of Jamaicans know that. And
okay,
so,
okay.
but we moved a lot, but it was mainly water
What
and
else?
south side that we stayed the longest, because we even move out of south and then go move back, because we lived in Gold Street in south. I will move out and then we'll go back and live down the south again, you know.
All right, nice, nice. All right, so what was the schooling like for young Raga? You know, primary school and so forth. You know.
Yes, I went to a basic school off the Waltham when we live in Julian Drive. I think it was called St. Paul Basic School, something like so.
Yeah.
And then I went to Cockburn Pen, all age down is 3 miles. The bossy name for it is Coburn Gardens.
Okay.
And then me left this and then I go Calabar all age. And
Mm,
then passed my common entrance in my
yeah.
first choice. I passed out a grade 5 and I went to
Mm,
Calabar High.
okay.
And then after that, I went to Stony Hill Heart Academy, the first ever Stony Hill Heart Academy for
Hmm.
1 year.
Yeah.
And then after that, I came to the United States and finished schooling up here. Went to a community college for a year,
Okay.
Northwestern Connecticut Community College, then went to Vassar College for 4 years and did my undergraduate degree there. And then from there, I went to the University of Connecticut,
Mm,
where I did my master's in counseling and psychotherapy, my
okay.
PhD in anthropology.
Mm.
And then, of course, many years later, in 2020, in the middle of the pandemic, I went to law school and
Mm,
graduated law school in 2023,
yeah.
with a jurisprudence doctor in law and became a lawyer. So that's basically my schooling. So
Wow. Very, very.
oh, by the way, I went to the Jamaican National School of Drama for 3 years also.
Okay. Well, that makes some sense.
Yeah, I'm a performer. Yeah.
Very impressive, man. Very, very impressive. Very, very impressive, man. Yeah, very, very impressive. All right. So what was before I move into that, man, your mom is no longer with us, man. I'm sure she's smiling above that you really took your education seriously. You
Yeah,
know?
she'd be happy about it. It was a big deal for her.
Yeah, man. Yeah. What was Raga like as a teenager growing up in Jamaica?
Um, I mean, in retrospect, I realized I had some incredible insecurities and thing, and at the same time, I had a lot of fun. While I was at Calabar all age,
Yeah.
you know, it was quite. Them used to tease me and call me donkey nose wall. I mean, I laugh about it now, but back then it was quite traumatic, and
Yeah.
unfortunately, it at that time it affected my self-esteem, being
Yeah,
teased in that way. And of
man.
course, again, those are residues from our colonial past, where
Yeah.
we were maligning aspects of ourselves that are African, derived, African in nature. But that got me in a lot of trouble. And what was significant about that was that the people, some of the people who loved me and were caring for me,
Yeah.
they were not equipped,
Mm,
they were not equipped, to deal with it. They didn't have a knowledge base how to deal with that.
yeah.
And so I kept going down the rabbit hole. So
Mm,
they'll teach me, then I'll end up with a fight, and then me stab them up with plastic forks and so forth. And then it became that something is wrong with this boy. He's
yeah.
sick. And and when you're a child, you don't really know how those things are impacting you, but they are.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
being told that something wrong with him, he's violent. When me, I was just fighting back. I was
Yeah.
just because I was always a little warrior. So
Mm,
I was just fighting back. So just living in that existence where for years you had to be fighting and thing. And then they ended up sending me to psychiatrists.
Oh, really? Wow.
Because something was wrong with me, the school, so they were telling that something is wrong with it. And then my mother, being a religious woman, she thought that deputy dep on me and whatever. So just imagine a child in that space. It was quite confusing. But at the same time, I play marble, I can put a lick in a sand pan road, I stone mango at a tree. I was having fun and thing, having fun on my sports day and thing. But psychologically, it was impacting me in a kind of negative way. And then when I went to high school, I had a similar thing there, and just felt displaced, and just wasn't centered in any way. I ended up running away a lot. So that was when I was in high school. I ran away a lot and just took it to the street, and that's where I had a lot of learning in the streets and got in trouble and thing. And unfortunately, jail and them thing, the police stop up and thing, living in the street as a, them time they talk about, 9, 10, 11, 12, around them age, it was a very young age, It was pretty rough them time there and things. So graduated high school, went to Stony Hill Art Academy and then got in trouble there again. Went to Stony Hill jail because I was in boys' home by this time. And came back on the boys' home. Then they transferred me to the Homestead Place of Safety because I was given torture. That is what we call young prison at the time,
Wow.
And I stayed there till I was 18. And
really?
And then when I was 18, I was released, into the care of my then Aunt Babesy in Augustown. And that is when I enrolled in the Jamaica School of Drama and, attended that for 3 years. And then while I was there, one time I smoked some split with brethren on our regular spot and thing. And I just had this moment of epiphany, one of my then teachers, Owen Blacker Ellis, he was the first person I heard, explain, our life, the lives of Jamaican from an African perspective.
Yes.
In a way that immediately, it was a moment of epiphany. It just immediately answered all these feelings of inadequacy that I was, the confusion. He just cleared it up right there. And I was just like, so why nobody never know this? Why a black man never come hear this from? Why would they own split and thing? And then from then, it was a journey, a long journey of self-discovery, of acquiring knowledge, not knowledge for degree, but knowledge for self-empowerment, knowledge for knowing yourself, knowledge for equipping yourself with the cognitive tools you need to survive in this world. And it wasn't like a task. It was just fun, learning about your real self and literally organically feeling the freeing that it gave you. And then from then it was just, life has been fun. I have my stress and problems like anybody else, but my approach, the comedic Ragashanti is not by accident. It's intentional. It's let's enjoy this. We have one life to live. We have ancestors who made like the tremendous sacrifices for us to have this right here, right now. The least we can do for them and ourselves is to enjoy, make use of it and things. That's why I have a thing, I said, don't we aspiring, we not so aspiring,
Facts. You know what? I came upon your content probably last year or so, and I was very intrigued. I was like, this brother knows a lot, and I started doing my research, and that's when I reached out and so forth. And I think there's a lot of misunderstanding of who you are as a person and what you're actually doing. And I think, sad but it's true, I don't want to say it, but people wouldn't realize your greatness until you're no longer with us. And the reason why I say that is because looking at your background, your education background, for where you came from, I think you have done something that most people have tried or would like to do that really don't have the ability to do. And I'm going to explain. Anthropology in the background. You actually live that life where, like you say, you grew up in the ghetto and you have a ability to connect with people. And what you did on radio, we're going to get into all of that, was pretty much, it it was like a live lab, so to speak, where people were calling, and as we would call them, ghetto folks, and talk culture. What, because it's the same thing in Trinidad. I listen to you and I say, the same issues in Jamaica is the same issues in Trinidad. It's just kind of presented different. You know what I mean? Even with the language, we go through the same thing. And I'm going to give you opportunity to elaborate on what are some of the misconceptions that people have about you.
Well, some of the misconceptions are grounded in, they have set paradigms of the way you're supposed to behave, right? But and don't get me wrong, I haven't been the most manageable and well-behaving person there is, and at times I'm, just like anybody else, I'm growing too, and you make mistakes and you learn from them.
Yeah.
But in terms of the misunderstanding is that you have these people in Jamaica who are grounded in that same hierarchy, that colonial hierarchy, that I spoke of earlier.
Yeah.
And with that, with each level, there's a way you're supposed to behave. Again, determined by the colonial, the previous colonial hierarchy.
Yeah.
And some of those are self-defeating, and they're depreciating and so forth.
Yeah.
And naturally, I am one of those who resist them, and I don't buy into it.
Yeah.
But to be specific, one of the things from that is that people from a certain environment, if you now get into what is considered an elevated or upper environment, you're supposed to change the way they behave.
Yeah.
Right. Jamaica have no problem if you behave the way you behave, but you stay in your lane and stay where you're there.
Right.
What the elites have a problem with is if you come in their space, and you're still maintaining the behavior from down there. The problem with that in media, it's not their space.
Right.
If I go in your house and you tell me, say, if you're coming in my house, you have to take off your shoes, I'm gonna take off my shoes. I'm gonna take off my shoes. I don't go in your house because it's your house.
Yeah, my space.
They think they own media because that has long been the case. It's just light-skinned people and white people who are represented in media based on the colonial order. So when I came in this space, and the reason they allowed me in this place is because, is the PhD, the Dr. Kingsley Stewart.
Yeah.
So I was come in there and said, well, the paradigm that we're going to explore today, and the different and the accompanying layers of whatever. But me go on the radio, I'm gonna say, tambourine, Southside, what you say? You can put all the girl them with dash out them sit now and them. I'm loving when you see a Raga. They lost their damn minds, man. They were like, what is this? But the problem with them, they couldn't them to just dismiss me. Even at times they were like, no, we gotta get rid of him now. And then I'll bounce back, and then when I bounce back. Because they knew.
Yeah.
He knows his stuff, He does know his stuff. He was indeed educated. So they knew that. So they were just like, could you stop with this type of thing there? Of course, they will mask it in a way to say, you're not doing anything uplifting. You have gotten through, and you're not bringing other people through and whatever without understanding from an anthropological perspective that you have 90% of Jamaicans who have their own culture that you have long since invalidated as not being worthy of coming into the professional arena, into the professionals, in the official spaces.
Yes.
Official spaces. And even though I was there shouting and carrying on, it was very deliberate in my mind that I am bringing that into this space, and that there's going to be resistance, and you have to fight them. And one of the ways to do whenever you're making some changes, if you can do it through comedy, if you have that skill to do it that way, because then it's kind of, you're more likely to get in easier because they would think it's something harmless. He's just joking or whatever when you're doing what you're doing. But sometimes when they realize they can come for you after and then try to beat you and things. So I think that's part of the misunderstanding with me. They think like they got a little bit confused some of them, and like, is he this or is he that?
Yeah.
As if I can't be this and that at the same time.
Yeah.
And like one lady, she said, she infamously said, I have no problem with Ragashanti. No problem with, when I was on the radio station, that was at the University of the West Indies, where I was lecturing at the time in the Department of Sociology, Psychology, and Social Work in the Faculty of Social Sciences. And I was just on the radio station. So they knew I'm a lecturer. They knew, qualified and thing. But when they're on the radio, they're on tambourine, and one and they never whine after something and thing like that. So her thing was, I have no problem with Ragashanti.
Yeah, man.
I just don't think he should be here on this radio, doing this on this radio station. He should be doing it on IRA FM.
Yeah.
Which at the time, IRA FM, she's disrespecting IRA FM, disrespecting the masses of Jamaican people.
Yeah.
Because basically, again, she said, if you listen to what she's saying, be who you want to be, but know your place.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't cross the line. But the line she's talking about, they don't own it.
Yeah.
That belongs to the people. And that type of demarcation is reflective of a problem we have long since had in Jamaica and the Caribbean.
Yes. Yes.
Where people define ascendancy and accomplishment and credential in ways where, oh, no, I'm at the top and I should be able to look down. Because remember, you can't be at the top, if you're not seeing people below you.
True.
Then you're not at the top. You have to be seeing people below you. That means that you have some people must know them place.
Yeah.
And I refuse to know my place in that regard. And I refuse to and I was insistent on letting people know that this official space of media,
yes,
where certain people have long since been denied admission. I was just trying to let the Jamaican people know in an indirect way that no, you're welcome to come here.
Yes.
You own this. This is not a private house or whatever. Because when they maintain those stratifications, they're just doing it for their self-preservation and to promote their interests and to validate where they think they are above.
Yes.
Because once people like me, they say it, once people like me behave the way I do, it's kind of like, yo, you're messing up the system,
Yeah.
You're making everybody feel like we're up on the same level and things like that. So we don't want that.
Yeah.
They will put it as if like keep them at that level so that they know that they can aspire to be up here. But if they want them to aspire to be up here, you have to behave exclusively like us when you're up here. When we never care for that, you understand what I say? I'm still not care for it,
Yeah,
but what is interesting, all of them, enough of them, something when them did a fight against me for Jamaica. Say a lot of that has been regularized now in media.
Yeah. Well, different from you,
So we give thanks to see that, the average Jamaican can feel like them can call a radio station and talk them language without feeling them have to speak spokey and end up embarrass themselves or try master grammar where them don't know and them things. One of the things I always teach them when me learn, me tell them this. Language carries culture.
Yes.
Culture carries identity. Identity carries existence. If you have 90% of the people in Jamaica speak Patois, that Patois, I carry them entire life, them culture.
True.
And for me to carry them culture, it's carrying who they are, their identity. Right?
Yeah.
And then by your identity being validated, manifested and validated in whatever space, then you become existentially aware of who you are and things like that. So you exist. The term existential a big word, but the first two prefixes exist. You exist. Right? That's something that we have in the Caribbean, but after him, I know nobody.
Yeah.
Hey, that's a powerful statement, to say that somebody is nobody.
Yeah, man.
And when nobody or if you are somebody is defined in your accomplishments and how you speak and all and something or whatever, again from the colonial order, it's a serious issue. So for me, what me did I do, and I carry people in other space there, talk where you want to talk, tell me your experiences where you go through when you are watching the carbolic soap or you scour the floor or the man jump the fence and bag wire catch him. That's culture.
Yeah.
And it's relevant and it's accessible. People can understand it, from where me I come from. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. I remember
really like that, but I saw it go.
Yeah, man. I remember reading an article. I believe it was the Jamaica Observer, and the the content pretty much was saying that Raga seemed to have a split personality.
That's what I'm saying, right?
Yeah,
You see what I'm saying? Okay,
yeah.
okay.
It says, as a professor or lecturer at the university, when he gets on the radio, is like he's a total different person. And like you say, a lot of the uptown folks wasn't really pleased with the way how he was quote unquote conducting himself, or they call it lewd
This
behavior.
is what I'm saying with them, though, with the split personality. There is a particular way you're supposed to behave if you're speaking in standard English, or the subject matter is reflecting a so-called upper echelon of society or whatever, or you're speaking
Yes,
on a certain level about, I don't know, what GDP or the economic imperatives of this or that or whatever, and thing like that, right?
yeah,
And then you have the other thing with them not really like and believe that that's supposed to be in certain spaces. That's why they must say split personality, but it's not a split personality.
who you are.
Um, Caribbean people by definition are multimodal, you
Yeah,
know. Caribbean people by definition, they are, you know,
mm,
the term used in academia is code switching in personalities.
yeah, yeah,
We had to do that for hundreds of years. It's a generational thing come down,
yeah,
right? When you bring people from a totally from another continent and you bring them over and then you're imposing this thing on them,
yeah,
right? With the most vile punishment if they do not comply
yeah.
and things like that. So they still have their identity inside of them. And
Mm,
now you're imposing this European thing on them in a foreign land where you, the European, not even come from and where them not come from,
yeah,
Jamaica or the Caribbean and things like that.
yeah,
So Caribbean people, they call it syncretic, syncretic identities or syncretic religion and so forth. So
yeah.
it's a natural thing for us to be able to code switch identities.
Mhm.
We're really good at it.
Yeah,
Right?
very,
It,
very good at it.
they exist harmoniously. But
Yeah,
these people would want you to be one-dimensional.
yeah,
And the one dimension they want you to be is the one that they validate, which requires you to invalidate the core you.
yeah.
They want you to only be a branch of who
Mm,
you are and not be the root of who you are.
mm.
You understand?
Wow.
And
Deep.
there's always been resistance to that,
Yeah, man.
as was the case with me. But
Mm,
not but the way I did it, in terms of methodology, was through my programs.
yeah.
And my thing is if I could engage you, you
Mm,
know, to be yourself, right? That would mean that I'm empowering the people from the space that I came from.
yes.
So when them claims to mean me reach or me there, me not bring up people, they were fatally wrong
Yeah.
because I was indeed bringing up people into a space that they have long been denied.
Yes. Yes.
Media, right?
Mm.
When I grew up, the black people at the pan, first of all, TV sign off 12 o'clock, but I know a white man named Dennis
Yeah.
and him we see and be white people. And then the people them in the media, they're all brown people.
Yeah.
Black people never in the media when I grow up and thing and whatever.
Mm.
Right? And it's changed now.
Yeah. When you were at the University of West Indies on the radio, that was the first time on radio.
No. And
Okay.
before that, I was on a station called Hot 102.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
And then before that, I did that. I went Hot 102 was the first time I hosted my own program on radio.
Okay. Okay.
But then before that, I did multiple interviews over. That's how they came to know me in terms of when I got my bachelor's, masters, and things like that.
Okay. Okay.
And I
Okay.
was doing interviews, and I tend to be,
Mm.
I tend to be a little performer, so
Yeah. Yeah.
they tend to remember me somewhat and thing because I'm a little colorful, I should say.
Okay. So how you got into the media space? I know you're into music as well. So was it music first, then you got into journalism type thing, or was it how that introduction came to you?
No, well, I got into media they were just doing the interviews.
Yeah.
And then you had a program called Man Talk. Then
Mm.
it was a very popular program, again, one that connected with the masses and
Yes.
things in terms of discussing Man Talk. And it was hosted by a lady called Christine Hewitt.
Mm.
And the producer was a gentleman called Dennis Howard.
Okay.
And then Dennis Howard had said to me, like, I want you to be a guest host.
Mm.
Some of the Man Talk episodes when Christine Hewitt
Yeah.
couldn't do it. And that is how I started doing like like hosting stuff in media, hosting
Okay.
programs in media.
Yeah.
And then when Christine left and things like that, I was doing that. You know, I was the one hosting the show,
Okay.
man, on TVJ. And then after that, I got into radio.
Mm.
And the first person to give me my own radio show was a lady called Andrea Messam over Hot 102.
Okay.
When Antoinette Horton was leaving her morning talk show program,
Mm.
and Andrea Messam said, "I think I think you do a good job at this." And
Yeah.
that was the first time I hosted a show in media on
Mm.
Hot 102.
Okay.
Mm.
So when was the first time, you know, you decided to, oh, the first, well, it's a multiple question. So I'm going to break it down like this. Mix up, you know to be the king of mix up, right?
Mhm.
So when when was the first time you decided to, or was it just like a natural transition to keep pushing the envelope with your content, your direct, and what else should use, man? Your direct approach.
Right. Whatever whatever you're doing,
Yeah.
whatever field you decide to pursue,
Mm.
I have a little I have a I have a formula, right?
Yeah.
And my thing is it's 5 steps, but I'm not getting into the five. But just know that, identify something that you like, okay?
Yeah.
Right?
Mm.
It's something that you can do or whatever, what your strength is and things.
Mm.
Then identify, then figure out what the fundamentals are of that thing, you
Mm.
know, and then figure which arena it is you need to do it.
Yeah.
And then you get in it and do it. And
Mm.
then while you're doing it, just keep practicing the basics. No matter, you could be Michael Jordan, you could
Yeah.
be whatever. There are basics in everything
True.
constitute the foundation and the root. And you have to don't lose sight of the basics, right? Don't lose sight of fundamentals. And everything you have fundamentals. In hosting, in
Yeah.
media,
Mm.
fundamentals. In crocheting, they're fundamentals. In running, they're fundamentals. In writing, they're
Yes.
fundamentals, right?
Mm.
But then once you learn the fundamentals, which is important in any field, master them.
Mm.
You have to make them like second nature, that you don't even have to think about it. You can do it.
Yes. Mm.
But it's important that you do all of that. After you do all of that,
Yeah.
there's two things that are very important for success in anything:
Mm.
imagination and creativity.
Mm.
Because that is now going to differentiate your product in a way that nobody else can do it.
Yes.
That is important. That
Mm.
is where originality comes. That is where people can imitate you, but they can never be you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. True.
If you can imitate Barack Obama, there can never be another Barack Obama.
Yeah.
You can imitate Michael Jordan, but there can never be another Michael Jordan. But you can evolve into your thing.
Yeah.
Kobe Bryant imitated Michael Jordan
Yeah.
extensively, but Kobe Bryant evolved into his own, successful brand through his own creativity and stuff that he did himself and so forth
Yeah.
like that.
Mm.
So I applied that to what I was doing, and I realized that after I covered the fundamentals of broadcasting, hosting a show, it was a standard fare out there. Everybody had do the same thing. It was you talk about politics, all
Yeah.
the talk shows, it's like you had to talk about politics. That was it.
Mm.
And they went, and I was like, no,
Yeah.
what are my strengths? Right, I'm a performer. I'm comedic.
Yeah.
I have a gift to explain stuff and break it down in ways that people can understand.
Right. Right.
And I can transfer organic elements from one space to another. It sounds whatever, but not many people can do it, But
Yes.
I can do it. I
Mm.
can recreate something from here and whatever,
Mm.
or I can recreate a mood or a sentiment or a energy
Yes.
that was such and such. Me know how figure. So all right, maybe recreate it over here, sir. Which
Yeah.
basically is a form of acting, right?
Yeah.
You're presenting. And I was like, okay, you're good at that.
Mhm.
You are good at that. Okay. So what you gonna do? So I was like, I'm gonna change this talk show thing for
Yeah.
me. But I'm not nobody else, you know. I'm just gonna do it. And I said, I'm going to do it in a way. You cannot do it in a way where it's irrelevant to the people. It must be relevant to the people. When people hear it, they must organically feel a connection.
Yeah. Identify.
And I was like, so basically, I'm saying, work with your strength. Don't try to be what you're not.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I did have like a political objective to it too, where it's like, yo, and then once I do not know, I'm bringing all our people them over here so we can take over this race, you know. Yeah, no, I deliberately thought that, and I said, yo, that we're going to turn over the thing over here now. And wake them up and agitate them and go out a bag of something. Them. Our time now. That was my attitude. I'm not lie, you know. And I said, I'm bringing the people. So that's how when I come here, I said, Angie, can you look good over there, man? No, this type of attitude, you know.
Yeah, man.
And that type of behavior is nothing new to us, you know.
Yeah, that's how we communicate.
Already existed where we were.
Yeah.
It's like nothing. The problem is for them is that you brought that over here. Hence, I'm telling you about the recreating. So in that sense, it was to some extent revolution. No, it wasn't the first time somebody bringing that aesthetic over into the so-called official arena.
Yes.
You got ones them before it, Miss Lowe, Marsland, Oliver Samuels, right? Dulcimina on radio. We heard that voice.
Yeah.
But they never really hear it like when me did bring it with, you know. So in that, big up Barry G, who bring some of that over before we, you know, and lay it for we, you know, big up the ones that who set it for we and things. So we're not Lego that and thing. But so me was just like another real, you know, another button, you know, button key on the relay, you know.
Yeah,
and then my style now, I bring it over. So and then the show, people thought sometimes people are talk to me and they act as if like it was all me. And what I'm trying to tell them that there was some revolutionary components about what I was doing in terms of media and waking it up.
Yes.
But it wasn't any genius thing in that, you know, in certain regard. It wasn't anything genius. All I did was I brought working class Jamaica, the fun working class Jamaica to radio. That's all I did.
Yeah.
And at first they were keeping it out. And I brought it on radio, and people were like, whoa, this is nice. And then now you have all these other Jamaicans who don't live in those areas.
Yeah.
Some of them have never been there all their lives. And they know we're hearing this and we're like, wow.
Yeah.
You know, so in that sense, it was expanded. And people didn't feel like they were an outsider anymore because them can call Raga show and talk up the things them and talk about the dirty boy or the careless girl Raga or whatever.
Yeah.
But you know, when you're doing these things, you're gonna get some resistance. You just have to persevere and push and fight, you know.
Yeah, man. You know, you had the foresight. How you the whole tambourine thing? How that came? How you were able to incorporate that into your show? Where that came
right.
from?
I grew up. My mother, like I said, we had to go to church, but it was really two type of churches we went to. We consistently went to the East Queen Street Baptist Church, which was a formal European church. You know, not as formal and, you know, in its theology as like the Anglican or the Presbyterian or whatever, were more associated with the elite class. And then so the Baptist church, in my opinion, is the European church that straddles that borderline between the formal European churches, the Presbyterian, the Anglican, the Catholic, and so forth, and the Christian churches that have stronger African retention, such as the Pentecostal, the Church of God, and them some. But the Baptist was right, in my opinion. I could be wrong. Was just right there. So my mother loved the Baptist church, but she was also a revival.
Okay.
And then revival now is like Afro-Christian, you know, forms of worship. And tambourine is used. So I was used to the tambourine. I was raised with the tambourine. We're used to the tambourine, amongst other things that are African in nature, in the way we worship growing up. So one time we were doing so jokes was a big thing on my thing, mix up, right?
Yeah.
Mix up and joke. And by the way, mix up is multi-layered, in terms of its nature. You have
Yeah.
serious mix up, you have mix up where you learn from. But we did indeed emphasize the comedic part of mix up.
Yeah.
And then so one day a good mix up come in, man. And me just ball out. I say, tambourine. Yo, John, I wish we did have a tambourine right now. I wish we did have a tambourine right now. One of my listeners, boy, she did and gone with the mere soul sleeping. Sister Peggy, who was living in Rollington town. She had listened to the show, get up, put her in her clothes, jump on bus, take the bus to downtown Kingston, buy tambourine, the tambourine that we grew up with when I thought the boat one them, I thought the goat skin and the way it buy the tambourine, take our next bus, come all the way up to the University of the West Indies, at New Start 93 FM, and say, me here say I want tambourine, it's a tambourine, yeah.
Wow.
No, only tambourine, then the tambourine stopped, and then from then it was just like it became synonymous with raga. And I hear people all over with it, like if anything good happened, then we say tambourine.
Yo, you still had a tambourine from you still had that tambourine that was gifted to you?
No, that tambourine they did break up. Me buy several after that, and even them come up and me buy some of them bossy one them, but then can't manage our thing. Then can't manage our this stuff. Wow. When we go Jamaica next, me go look tambourine for buy,
Yeah, man. All right, so we talk about the Tam. You got the Tam Fam, the Tambourine family. I guess you call it Tam.
Yeah, Tam Fam, which is an abbreviation for tambourine family. Yeah,
man. All right, so before I get into that, I want to ask you this question: what's the craziest mix-up you've ever heard?
Oh Jesus!
I know I've heard a lot over the years.
Yeah. The first one to come into mind was from probably our greatest mix-up teller. Was a caller named Seki Bakame. Right? And I mean, she got that name from a mix-up too, that she gave us. But she gave us a mix-up, where a woman a wash. And then I know, this is not to disparage women, I'm just telling you like a crazy mix-up.
Yeah.
Like the woman a wash, she said, and the woman bring out her dirty clothes them. And I probably shouldn't be. She bring out the dirty clothes them and thing. And when Seki tell it nice, Alonzo hold on it. And the woman must turn with. I want drunk or fly down and take out one of the woman underwear and a bite up the underwear thing. I say I want to go on this so that the drunk have to come down. But I want to get into the details, but just so you know, it was just that's an all of fear mix up, because remember I said drunk or afraid of people, and if the drunk are compelled by instinct, that's something that going to come down there. Lord Jesus, a problem that.
Yeah.
And one time Seki come down and say, yo, you have this well-known politician who in Jamaica, member of parliament.
Yeah.
Apparently, him a born him wife,
Yeah.
And a swipe a lady. You know what swipe mean, right?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
So him a swipe her, but they look like the swiping are going good, and a be a ball out, chaball out, and they swiping, and the neighbors them are hearing. I said, Jesus Christ. But them I said, them not rate him because you're sick, No, when I rate her, we don't know when I'm going to put him out. This is because she a bun side right mango. And I was like, what? And he said, bun side right mango. And I said, what that?
Yeah.
And he said, you don't know bun side right mango. And I'm like, no.
Yeah.
He said, you don't know some mango drop off a tree and nobody don't want that and them not eat that, but sun just burn it on one side because it stayed there. So the other side. Man. And them time they tambourine. No, say you don't want the bad. And Jamaicans are very colorful and performative and find joking at everything and whatever. So that was the energy. Yeah. Oh, but we have a lot of all of your mix-ups. Holy.
Yeah, look.
And that was the other thing too. In our communities, we're comfortable discussing matters associated with sexuality.
Yes.
In the so-called pristine class and anything to do with sex is forbidden. You don't talk about sex and whatever.
Yeah.
But as you know, sex is very much a part of life. Not only it's a part of life, it plays a huge role in many of the choices we make.
True.
It influences politics, power. I
Yeah.
don't have to tell you that. It influences economics. It's like sex and economics go hand in hand. Economics is influenced by matters associated with sex. Like it influences religion and things, whatever. So it permeates so much of what we do. But the unspoken rule in Jamaica: don't discuss sex.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't discuss sex in official open places. It's just an old school thing, a old school hypocrisy that comes from colonial Britain. Right? You read or watch the movie Dangerous. Did you watch the movie Dangerous Liaisons?
I heard it talk
John Malkovich and Glenn Close and whatever. I always tell people about that movie because I think that movie captures Victorian and Elizabethan hypocrisy as it relates to sex and sexuality. And those themes are very much active in Jamaica. And so Jamaica is a highly, 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 highly sexual space. Jamaicans are into sex big time, right?
Yeah.
At the same time, it's not supposed to talk about or be discussed publicly.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's mitigating, and it's mitigating everything we do.
Yeah.
Right? On my show, we discuss that. We laugh about that or whatever. So for a lot of people, that was just like a daytime shock,
Yeah. Yeah, I heard somebody.
We reveled in it.
Yeah, I heard someone reading again, and someone had mentioned that show should have been at nighttime. Like late at night.
That's nonsense. Yeah, because they just think that once you touch sex, it's not supposed to be there, and the kids are hearing about it, and It's how you talk about it, man. And look at that now. Look at what's going on now with social media and whatever and all this thing now, and it's available 24/7.
Yeah.
And don't they learn to navigate around it and make sure so and so and so. That's what you do.
Yeah. Right. All right, like I say, you got the Tamarind family, Tam Fam. What's some of your I know you have fans from day one to present time now. You're big on TikTok and YouTube and other things. What's some of your early fans, man, that have been there from the beginning to now? That you want to shout out?
Like more big up second back. I mean, like me say, you want big up a little man. Him gone. Him name Little Deuce. When we start in a radio, Little Deuce would call me all the time and thing, and he had some, he was appealing. He was just memorable and thing in what he shared. They have second back. I mean, Little Deuce. You did have he passed away in COVID. He worked at the cemetery over in not Dovecut, Meadowrest. He passed on too. You have a call on here, Fan the Fire. She's from St. James. I'm big up Fan the Fire and thing and whatever. You had some legends, man. Yeah, quite a few, and thing. I'm going to big up them. And they're more. They're definitely more,
All right. So in 2011, you got into a situation with the Broadcasting Commission of Jamaica, and your show was pulled from the airways.
Right.
You want to kind of elaborate exactly like what happened and what transform the situation?
So once you're doing what I'm doing, you're going to engender opposition. And for different reasons. For some people, it was a question of taste. For some, you had a group called the Women's Media Watch that they said they were looking out for women's interests, but the Women's Media Watch had a lot of women in it who were lesbians. Who thought that I was homophobic. And so they had concerns there too. You had at the same time you had people who said I was homophobic. My show was the only show. I'm sure you know the irony, and Jamaica is filled with contradiction. My show was the only show where gay people called and talked freely, and I talk with them. Good. The only show. So you had gay people calling in and whatever. So I had opposition from another side. It was just like, we need to get rid of him and have these gay people on the show and whatnot. So my thing was, no, our thing in Jamaica and the Caribbean is like, there must somebody pick me too, meaning they're human being too and they have a voice.
Yeah.
So you had people who wanted to get rid of me because they said I was against gay people.
Yeah.
And you had people who wanted to get rid of me because they said I was for gay people. Right? So you had that element. What didn't help also?
Yeah.
Was that I would cuss them out. Right? So I'll tell you, that didn't help. Perhaps I could have dealt with that in different ways and things like that. But I would cuss them out on air. I would cuss them out. And I routinely call names. In this thing, you don't want to be calling names all the time. It's not the diplomatic way. It lacks tact.
You didn't have the situation.
Right. So, but I was just reveling in this thing where like, y'all can't touch me, and then there was this whole, underlying political thing to like, you're trying to curb our voices. We just have a little space here. Go listen to everything else. What are you making this thing bother you for? So you have a lot of people who are fighting in the shadows.
Yeah.
And making calls and pressing buttons and things like that. Then now you had a situation where a helper, and helper made, they're on the lowest rungs of society, unfortunately. And the helper had called in and talked about some powerful women, who had essentially sexually abused her. That initiated, that call went viral in Jamaica. And it went into certain circles where
this was a helper that was sexually
working for a powerful woman.
Okay.
A powerful married woman.
Yeah.
And that woman took her to a hotel, and 3 other powerful, well-known married women in Jamaica. 4 of them. The helper is on here talking about this now, on Raga show. And talked about those women and what they did to her. And from what I, and they, they essayed her. And then from that, I understand that, there was an effort to like, no, we'll finally have to get rid of him. But even before that, let me just say that some of it, I brought it on myself because, for example, I didn't talk about certain things that I know would bring harm to me. Like people come and want to talk about certain done, right? One time somebody, Bulby at the time was the Jamaica's #1 most wanted person.
Yeah.
And somebody a call and a talk about, so Bulby at Jamaica's #1, I'm seeing stand up right saying that the Migla Spanish town I talked to 2 police. So I was like, I tell my producer, them not seeing me, a lot. And I was like, so I tell her cut it off, and then I go on here with my hypocrite self and be like, what happened to the call?
Yeah.
Well, the call got cut off or whatever. That the time is me tell my producer. Why am I saying this? There are times I made choices to protect myself.
Yeah.
Right? Because I knew that, the consequences of so and so could be so and so.
Yeah, man.
But then at the same time, in making those choices, I was at the same time cussing out people, calling their names and so forth. That didn't help. Yeah. Also, I had topics that because I had weeks, with different topics. So this week it might be helper mix up, next day it might be church mix up, then the other day it might be minibus mix up, next day it might be school mix up. So I would do mix up like politician mix up.
Yeah.
That's a no-no. Right? So then mix up were coming in about the prime minister, the ministers of government who are all, shall we say, very accomplished in their extracurricular activities, right? So they got frustrated and be like, he's going too far now. This is all behind the scenes thing.
Brave, you're real brave, man.
No, and people are like, so the point I'm making is I brought it on myself, if you really think about it, because people, that's just, because, some people be like, yo, Raga, do your thing, but don't go too far with it. And I think a reasonable mind would say, yeah, but on many occasions he did went too far with it. So
open up the floodgates.
Yeah. So what happened was now, so somebody, a minister in government, came and said, Raga, a meeting was had with you, with the Minister of Information. And it was decided that, you know, we have to see if we can get rid of it. And then him explained. So he was saying, you mix up the comment about a politician who go over one politician house and for jump the fence to go over, go take somebody else's wife. I'm say, yeah. And we must say, Raga, you can't make them things that go up on the ear, man. I'm gonna say, no, but just have the topic and the people them calling, and I must say, but you can't have them topic that you make people get nervous, man. You know? And then there was another mix-up where a politician, a minister of government wife, catch him a sort out a mess with it. Fear sister, and that mix up that come on. So it was just like, nah, we got to get rid of him. But here's the thing that people misunderstood: the Broadcasting Commission cannot fire anybody in media.
Okay.
The Broadcasting Commission does not, and perhaps will never have, the constitutional power to fire anybody in media. The Broadcasting Commission is basically as it can remove the license from a media house. So the Broadcasting Commission can say to you, we have a problem with Alonzo upon your station, you know. And it has to follow certain rules in doing so. And then if Alonzo keep on, I get problem, the Broadcasting Commission can say to the station. You know, and if you keep this up, we're gonna take away your license. And then the station now would be pressure now into firing you. Got a broadcasting. But the main reason I was fired, and it wasn't like fired, the program pulled. And one of the big misunderstandings there with the law, with the pull, with the one that was really pulled was that I went on air and I said, people, because I made the decision to leave. So I went on air and I said, people, this is my last show. Right. And I just want to thank you all for so and so and so. This is my last show and things like that. Some people who were in the staff or whatever, they called the man who at the time at the University of the West Indies was he had oversight over the station. And he was particularly fond of me. Different reasons, you know, some related to sexuality or the other. And he told them to shut it off while I'm talking.
Really? While he was on air?
While I was on air.
I did read something about. I did read an article about that, but I didn't realize it was actually on air because
man, I was on air. I was on air at the time. Wow. But the people say is them pull me off here. But what they keep forgetting is that I was pulled off here after I announced that this is my last show on here. Right. And but what I'm saying that was part of that was a part of the whole thing where all these people were in fairness to the Broadcasting Commission, you know, Cardell Green, big up yourself, Cardell Green. We had we had some you know, some colorful fights. And I want to say enough respect again to Cardell Green, who is the head of the executive director for the Broadcasting Commission, because he took the time to have a couple of meetings and I said, Raga, you know, you're coming from where I come from. Because I thought he was calling me in for a meeting to BS me and whatever. And he was, Raga, I have a job to do.
Man.
And the people who, if they make complaints and they come in and so forth and things like that, I have to respond to that. And if that means that I have to make certain calls against you, I'm going to do it. But I don't have anything against you. Like, why you can't do this? You know, so he was being reasonable. He said, why you can't do your thing in a way where it's less likely that the people are going to come to me for come after you, you know?
Right.
So I want to say enough respect to Cardell Green for that, because before that, me give it to him too, you know. which is not wise. You don't you're not you don't you're not the kingdom and you fight against you ever say things bad against the king. That's generally a no, right? Yeah. And you don't who works with somebody that somebody have the power to remove you or to get you removed, and then you start I throw shit upon him and I call him name and all them something. So, that's not a good idea, so. And so with all that pressure coming on and thing, it became a thing where Raga is too much, man. It's too much. He's got no chill, Right? So that was what led to that. And then I went and formed Tambourine Radio.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. I started my own little entrepreneurial thing. You know that I was the first Jamaican ever to go live on the internet with a show in media and
Really?
the very first Jamaican ever.
Wow.
The only entity that was on the internet before me in media entity was IRA FM, which you could have paid a subscription to listen to IRA FM on it. And so it wasn't a person.
Yeah.
It was a radio station. I was the first Jamaican ever to go on the internet with a live show. And what I did was I started Tambourine Radio, and I was like, we have to figure out a way to do this on the internet.
Yeah.
And they had a thing called Ustream.
Ustream.
Remember Ustream? So I was just like, this is what we're gonna do.
Yeah.
We're gonna use Ustream for audio only. And at that time, people were like, you can do that? Why not? Because it's a radio station, but we're going to use a radio.
Yeah, they're like 2010, 2011 times,
Yeah, them years. Them time the YouTube they take off your time them something there, No, man.
Yeah.
And thing I always say, any of me did like, after YouTube do I start them thing, any of me did start them time there and steal. When I reach now,
Yeah.
No, man, when I reach now, man, millions and millions more than it now.
Well, but man, I definitely got to give you credit, man, because you have really, really took control of your brand and evolved over the years using, like you said, the internet, using the social media platforms. And no shade to you, you're a grown man, you're a big man, I call you a senior citizen, but you're a big man. Right. But a lot of older folks, I would say a lot of grown folks kind of haven't really understand or know how to really use social media and the internet to their advantage. And you have done a really great job doing that.
Give thanks. Because you know the rule. Yeah. Fundamentals are important, but success favors those who adapt.
Yeah.
So you have to find that, you have to always find that sweet spot where when it's speed important, when you need to jump on this. Or when it's like, no, don't jump on everything. Don't think, with speed, with this and that and that and that and that. And how much of the innovation should you integrate in what you're doing, and then you have to see if there's a best fit for you, even when you're doing that, and so it was fun and challenging to figure out some of that. You still make mistakes, and you see how the technology. You see what's going on with AI now. Things are just moving fast, and things, so it can be overwhelming for some people,
Yeah, man. Well, you mentioned AI. What's your view on AI?
It cannot be ignored.
Yeah.
Right. If you're a farmer, AI is over there, but it's you still have some room to not pay too much attention to it right now.
Yeah.
In terms of what we need to accomplish with it. But I mean, it's everywhere. Yeah. But if you're in technology and you're ignoring AI or whatever, you just through neglect, you're guaranteeing your non-existence and your downfall and being left behind. Yeah. So, and then you see what's going on out there in the workplace too and things like that. But for what we do, you're gonna be left behind if you don't figure out some way how to use AI as best you can, because it is so it is so powerful
Yeah.
that it's not even like,
Mm.
it's not even only like, oh, you can do this quicker.
Yeah.
It's like it's changing the universal language of humanity. You know, it's changing reality.
Yeah.
It's bringing in. One time, me and one woman, of course, she talked to a woman and of course a different woman, of course a third party, right?
Yeah.
And she said something I would never forget. She said, and our fake breast them not even look real. Our fake breast them fake.
Yeah.
She said, yeah, so she have fake breasts. Not have real fake breasts. And of course the intellectual side of me just was just like, it's just like energized. And I was like, if you really think about it, right? Remember, you have adjectives and nouns, okay? Right?
Yeah.
And she's saying she have fake breasts because she
Right.
don't have real fake breasts.
Yeah.
All right. The first fake there is an adjective.
Yeah.
And the second sentence, the real is an adjective. So
Yeah.
fake breast. The first fake there is an adjective.
Mm-hmm.
In the second sentence, real fake breast.
Yeah.
Real is an adjective.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So fake breast is the noun.
Yeah.
Right? So if you have fake breast, then you have a noun that is already real, that is fake.
Mm.
Right?
Well,
and that is humanity, right? I guess with it right now. No, we don't know what is fake and what is real now. You know?
What is fake? Facts. They need to. I believe moving forward, they'll have to have disclaimers saying that this is an AI, or this has been, something for people to differentiate between what is human or what is real or what is even factual.
No, the social media sites are requiring that you do that. Instagram and them say you must identify it and thing. But what I'm saying outside of that, when you hear women saying, yeah, we can't get any man right now, them just want the dolly woman, them, the fake woman, them.
Yeah.
And that aesthetics driven and thing like that. So they're saying, but the man, they must say, well, it's fake, but it's real.
Yeah.
I enjoy it more just by the way it look.
Yeah.
And thing. So, people doing all these things out there, like, what's the future of natural?
Yeah, man.
What's the future of natural? What would natural have a space out there, to be appreciated and things like that, They might make fake meat, and all these things. It's crazy.
Yeah, it might switch where natural stuff will be more expensive.
Huh?
I say it might switch, whereas things that's natural is going to be like way more expensive or premium.
No, what do you mean by that? That is the case right now. I don't know how old you are, but when I was growing up, we never have a debate between what is natural and what, because everything was natural.
Yeah, true.
Right?
Yeah.
Now you have to pay more for vegan food.
Yeah, true.
You have to pay. It's already here.
True.
Fact. Like natural is the unusual in some circles.
Yeah.
Mine, we have to be careful because that is what is going on in Western societies. You go to other countries all over, they're not having this debate. I go to countries in Africa, they're not having this debate because natural still reigns supreme over there. Even in some countries that people travel, like Thailand, natural still is strong in Thailand. In Ghana, natural is, there isn't this debate in the street about it because everything is just still natural.
Yeah. And that's a good point, man, because I had the opportunity to travel to Africa, and that's one of the things I've noticed. Like, things that's natural is relatively reasonable. I wouldn't say cheap, but relatively reasonable. And things that are natural is more expensive. Which
in those countries,
which makes sense.
But over here in America and these places, it's the converse. It's the opposite.
Yeah.
It's the natural, and then now them all have fool. We wouldn't know. A lot of stuff out there that they claim is organic. It's not organic.
Yeah. So I want to talk about music. You're artist as well. Some people may not know, but you have a big collection of songs. Titanic Ball, Answer Nutmeg, Wet Bread, and so forth.
What are those
songs? Those are songs?
But I don't know anything about them. Some of them.
Yeah.
I know I've done a bunch of songs, but me don't know nothing about Nutmeg and Thing and Titanic Ball and some. So there might be
Those are the titles. So what's some of the songs you have done?
no more, but no more. I know what them title like. No man, it's okay. I could talk about what them title. With those titles, and where you hear that.
A type when it's RAGASHANTI songs. That's what came up. You know,
RAGASHANTI.
a good bit of songs came up, and those are the ones that I picked out and the ones that I actually listened to. You know,
No man, there must be somebody out there with the names. Just so you know, RAGASHANTI was made up, right? Right. Raga for the contemporary street, Shanti for the traditional, for my heritage and the historical me.
Yeah.
And so I put that name together.
Okay.
But remember now, Raga and Shanti, they are profound names. I learned after they are they're terms of significance in Indian culture.
Yes. Yeah, Shanti.
Yeah, and so you'd have these Indian people write me all the time, but Indians unite against Pakistan. I'm like, what did it? I'm not Indian. And and then now on the internet, I noticed recently a few people out there, they're using the name RAGASHANTI, even a woman.
Yeah.
She called herself RAGASHANTI, and I know why they're doing it. And so, but the song I did an album.
Yeah,
called Get the Oven.
Get the Oven. Okay.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And I did it when Kasha Park with my brother in Gibby.
Yeah.
I did the entire album in one weekend. And it's really more like fun dub poetry. That's what it is.
It's nice, man. It's nice.
Yeah, and did a whole bunch of songs in it. And when I look back on it, I was like, yo, you sound corny, man. But
you know,
one planet when them love was one named Punsi, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, this woman that this man basically a Punsi, a bad him up and I said, boy, I mash up tonight, you know, and the man I say, you can't mash up this. I want my man, go away from your man, you know, how you deal with that. And when Punsi put it on him, man, into an idiot, man, all that whole storytelling is in the song, you know.
Yeah.
They love that one.
Yeah, man, you're definitely gifted. You definitely have talent. So, music. I did an interview with Mr. Vegas recent, and you know, he has just released his new album. I think it's Ghetto Reggae, and he actually mentioned you in one of his songs. So I asked him about it, and he made a comment. And it seemed like you and Mr. Vegas was friends at one time, and there was a fallout. Am I correct?
Well, something like that.
Yeah. He didn't go into much details, but you know.
What was the comment?
Well, I mentioned that I laughed when I heard it because around that same time I was doing the research on yourself, Raga. When I heard Raga in the song, I laughed. So I asked him about it. I said, yeah, I find it funny that you added Raga, to the song. And he said, yeah, man, me and Raga, we were cool at one time, but we ain't really like that, no more. So I left it at that. I didn't go into detail. I didn't really.
But what was mentioned in the song?
The verse in the song is, I think the girl chat too much like Raga. That was the verse.
Oh,
I forgot the name of the song, but I'll send it to you. But what song is it? It's on the new album, Ghetto Reggae.
So the girl chat too much like Raga.
Chat too much like Raga. Yeah.
You are going.
Yeah.
Listen to me. Mr. Vegas is one of the most talented artists to come out of a dance song. Okay.
Yeah.
And he has entertained millions, and I've done quite a few songs that that set him apart from the rest. He's a hard worker. When we tell you that man work hard, and anything him have him deserve it based on him work ethic. And is he perfect? No, he's not. I am not perfect either. You're not perfect, and thing. But for the most part, in terms of people who make use of them life,
yes,
and do something with them life, Mr. Vegas is a testament to that.
Yeah, man.
And there are elements to, his persona.
Yeah.
That, that people can adapt or adopt to make themselves to improve themselves, upgrade themselves, to make themselves better and things
Yeah.
like that, because he too is coming from very humble
Yeah.
circumstances, and
Yeah.
he too has faced a lot of challenges and significant obstacles,
Yeah.
where that, if other people faced those, they would have given up, or they would have
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know relented and thing. And he has been unrelenting in overcoming his obstacles and his challenges, and to keep moving ahead and to grow from strength to strength, and to, he went to college, got his
Yeah.
degree, and so forth. Mr. Vegas, should be an example of how, when DJs get some food or get some money and thing, like, how you should invest, your resources,
Yeah.
and in terms of real estate and so forth and thing like that.
Yeah.
He's very ambitious and thing like that, and he's a shining example of ways in which people from similar circumstances as himself, in terms of methods and what you can do,
Yeah.
to keep what you have, to build on what you have, to sustain what you have, and to make mistakes and learn from them and things like that. So I just want to commend him in that regard, big him up in that regard. Me and him no 100, I will probably
Yeah.
not go 100. Him rank and me rank, the blood clad friend from nobody and things like that. But I am an objective thinker.
Yeah.
And right now, me just want to make sure, say, I remember in a Raga say what I mean. I mean, in a hypocrite something. So everything I say about him, I mean it and things. So
Yeah.
you just want pay attention to the positives right now of Mr.
Yeah.
Vegas,
Yeah,
which there are many.
man.
And frankly, him don't get him just due in terms of how he, as a successful dancehall artist,
Yeah.
has been positively different from many.
Yeah,
Because
man.
he does other things that people pay attention to, right? And he often like to share his opinion.
Yeah.
He's never short of opinion on subject matters.
You guys are
And,
personalities similar,
huh?
You guys' personalities are similar.
Some, yeah. So, what I'm saying is, because people pay attention to those stuff that he does that attracts a lot of attention, those other
Yeah.
stuff, I think they don't realize how formidable and impressively ambitious he has been.
Yeah.
And interestingly, that the other thing is, him don't load up them something there. So
Yeah.
him don't talk about them something there. So I guess people don't know. But if people knew his full story,
Yeah.
I think people would be like, wow, this is inspirational,
Yeah, man.
right? And I would submit, if Mr. Vegas is listening, perhaps he should share some more of those
Yeah.
and things like that, because I think people would benefit a lot from his accounts of those things, because when we say it has been profound, his success story has been profound in terms of where I come from,
Yeah.
and when they know, so I tell him same nothing, interject and, so this thing out there, so this is my opinion on it. I tell him same nothing do that.
Yeah.
But can do that and still share about who he is,
Yeah, man.
like that,
Yeah, very talented youth, man. But yeah, like I said, his new album, I guess Shameless but Ghetto Reggae. He mentioned I believe it's the first song, but it's one of the singles. But yeah.
Yeah, and what you tell me is that this, but that's okay. I'll take it.
Yeah, man. No.
Yeah, man, that's stage though. When certain energies,
Mm.
if you whack me up with it and thing, and I ignore people now, I ignore certain energies.
Yeah.
And not only that, I'm mature enough to there are people who me and them know deal.
Mm.
I'm talk positive about them all the way.
Yeah.
And people who beat me and talk things about me, Miss Kitty beat me and talk things about me. Talk positive thing about Miss Kitty all the way, because I talk positive thing because there's some objectively positive things about her.
Yeah.
That are very, that are profound and can be useful.
Yes.
In terms of, motivating other people to do well and so forth and things like that. So at a side of me, the pan right now. So who wants a bad thing about me, say bad thing about me. If you say something bad about me, I'm legit. I tell you the truth, there are people who say things about me. I'm gonna say, hold up, that's true.
Yeah.
And I need to work on that,
Yeah, man.
we need to work on that. But if it's not bad about me, I'm see it come from a place I like, oh, there you go again. But you're not talking about what you are doing or you this.
Yeah.
I was okay, fine. So where you was, I must be not argue with people, I'm not curse people anymore. I'm not argue with people anymore. I just don't have the energy for it and or the appetite for it. I'm just not there anymore.
Yeah, man. Fair enough. I want to talk about mental health, especially with men. Depression. It's something that you have been open, talked about it. You talked about dealing with depression yourself, and one time you mentioned even suicide thoughts came to your mind. I believe you were in Connecticut at the time. If someone right now is going through depression, or what's some of the things that someone could do, or what have you done to deal with the matter of depression and as far as mental health is concerned?
The thing with depression is that on one level, it's difficult to understand because you have down depression that people have, that anybody can have. That's just regular depression. You're feeling down and depressed today. And then you have clinical depression, medical depression. Right? It's generally hard for some people to realize that depression can be a clinical level issue. And if they come from an environment where it's like, okay, so you feel down, then get up and step up, man, and whatever, without having that, without having that knowledge that this is a medical issue that needs to be treated at a certain level. So you have that element. Then you have the age-old issue in our communities where if it's framed as mental health, the people don't want to have anything to do with it. Because after me, no mad.
Yeah.
Them don't want anybody if you go say, sitting at one over there, so with her, or whatever, the stigma thing, or just say them no matter whatever. So the first thing is, if you find that you're experiencing depression a lot, where it's chronic, or if you find that when you experience depression, it's severe, and you find that you're entertaining some thoughts that you're like, whoa, I just want done with this or whatever, then I suggest you should get help.
Yeah.
If you can get help, that's easier said than done, particularly in America where healthcare costs is, whatever. But then to get help now, be careful though, you go to people like pastors to get help for something, a medical condition like depression, who unfortunately them just come from fit and worldview and I go tell it only set to pray about it and things like that, when God would say, no, go and get treatment. The other thing with depression is that you have depression that is more physiologically based and you have depression that is more psychologically based. But the psychological result in a physiological impact, the physiological result in a psychological impact. So my depression was more physiologically based and I didn't understand it.
Yeah.
I was just not. I grew up in Jamaica. When we grew up in Jamaica, man fire shot after me get stabbed up, me go in a jail. I never felt those type of depression.
Yeah.
You feel down, you feel upset and whatever, but the depression when me know is clinical depression. I mean, know when me feel it. All those years in Jamaica, I never feel it. Is when I came to America.
Yeah.
And then the winters progressively, when the winters I started feeling sad and whatever. And while I was at Vassar, one winter, I go to Jamaica for a dance and stay there for about 10 days.
Yeah.
And when I stayed at Jamaica 10 days, the minute I come off of the plane, I was just like, I feel different.
Yeah, man.
And in my mind, it was just my excitement for Jamaica.
Yeah.
Years later, a psychiatrist explained and said, no, it wasn't just Jamaica. You had that vitamin D from the sun in Jamaica.
Yeah. Yeah.
And whatever, So and him saying that triggered uh, whatever, serotonin, the neurotransmitter that regulates mood
Yeah.
and things like that. So I'm saying that vitamin D, it does what some of these people when them take pills up here to do. And I'm
Yeah.
like, are you serious? And I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
Him say, you there in the winter and you depressed. And you have SAD, which is an acronym for seasonal affective disorder.
Mm.
Him say, you don't even need a pill, If you're going on a Jamaican stay there for like 2 weeks and things, that will hold you.
Yeah,
And
man.
it's true in my tell.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. I can testify to that. Yeah, facts.
Yeah. But it got crazy for me one winter. And I went through a really terrible breakup too. So there, external factors can trigger the physiological reaction to it.
Yeah.
So I went through a terrible breakup, already had that there, so it exacerbated it.
Yeah, man.
But what was good for me was that fighting spirit in me, because even when it came upon me, and what I tell people is that whenever I hear people say, "Oh, I'm gonna kill myself," that 9 times out of 10, and people them not gonna do themselves.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm I want to kill myself or whatever. They ain't gonna do. If you hear people say like things like, "I just can't bother to go on. It just don't even make any sense to go on anymore," or "I just don't feel anything for this world anymore." When people talk like those are the ones you need to be careful.
Yeah.
Because those ones, they don't announce it, They don't go there and talk when them feel like to kill themselves or whatever. You may pick it up in conversations with them, or you may see them just become recluse or isolate themselves, etc. and them something and thing like that.
Yeah.
But for me, when it came on me and I had those feelings like my body was just shut down, and I'm like, no, so I'm tired before, but I've never felt this kind of tired. It's like body weak. Like there's no motivation for move because the body weak.
Yeah.
So I am getting and I'm engaging in that introspection.
Yeah.
I said no, and then I realized I start to think like I don't want to be here anymore.
Yeah.
I don't want to be here anymore. But what was good for me, there was a duality to it. There was a Raga standing outside observing the Raga feeling this.
Yeah.
And so the Raga standing outside was saying, "We are doing." You forgot to. Yes. No, seriously. I got you worse in my life. I mean, never yet feel so. I consider them thing or whatever. So it's something wrong.
Yeah, man.
I said, no, me I go get help.
Yeah.
What I say a while ago. Me I go get help.
Yeah. Help. Yep.
A lot of us, especially men, we don't get to that point. We say, I need help.
Yeah.
Not only that, it goes against our Caribbean character to say that.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, because if you say it have these, we're conditioned to believe it have this connotation of weakness, of sissiness, of you're not man. You're foolishness and thing and whatever, and get up and go, boy, you need help and you go like gala, whatever. Them look weird there and them look something. But for me, I was like, I need help.
Yeah, man.
And then at that time, I was in the grad dorms at the University of Connecticut.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, the infirmary at most about a mile, like a half mile.
Yeah.
From where the grad dorms was. I would say about a half mile. So that take me about more than 2 hours.
Yeah.
Because the body shut down,
Yeah.
That thing that, but the whole time I say rest,
Yeah, man.
And then I walk again and I walk slow, You that thing say I was a paraplegic or something.
I know.
Yeah, man. When I reach down, I tell them say something is wrong. I think at that time,
man.
I already finished my master's in counseling and psychotherapy.
Yeah.
So fortunately for me, because education for me has always been about self-empowerment and understanding humanity better. It was never about title and money and them something.
Yeah.
And so when we reach out, I tell the lady, say something is wrong. And she's like, okay, we're going to do some blood work and things like that and whatever. And she said, whatever. I said, my body just shut down and I don't know what it is. And I'm having thoughts that or whatever. And right away, she said, you may need to see a psychiatrist, but we have to do the blood work first just to rule out something.
Yeah.
So they did all this extensive blood work and it was like nothing came up. So we sent me over to the psychiatrist. We sent me over to the psychiatrist and we'll go through whatever. And the psychiatrist said, it appears that you have chronic depression. Right? Chronic clinical depression, and he said it appears that you have had it for a while.
Yeah.
You just didn't know what it was. And I said, no. This thing that I'm feeling right now is an intense episode of what I've been feeling for winters all year. And I said, and I think it has been triggered and worsened by an event that I experienced recently that that was just like a profound disappointment. And him say, lucky for you, you're the type of person who can look within yourself and objectively characterize what's going on and explain it. So him say, hold on, KJ, my son.
That's cool, man.
Yeah, you play him game in there. You want to hear him in there? I war with the people in that game. Yeah, so I have to say though that my approach to my depression, and me, I have no problem in sharing it, and with it, particularly with the idea that it can be helpful to others.
Yeah.
As you as a Caribbean man yourself,
man.
Sadly, that is not, that is not standard out there. Most men, Caribbean men, for different reasons, they want to tell them girlfriend or them wife or whatever and things like that, and and there's a lot of ignorance surrounding it still. But I would like to encourage men to know that there's a thing as depression.
Yeah.
Well, everybody, men and women, you have depression, regular down feeling from different things, cause and where you bounce back from. And there is clinical depression.
Yeah.
Which is a mental disorder, right? And that there's help out there for it. Unfortunately, with depression, most of the help is people who listen on a phone or listen at church or whatever. But if you think your depression is severe and you think that you're thinking about you have self-damaging thoughts, etc. I would encourage you to. Some of you people work have a health plan and don't know that they under the health plan them can go and get professional counseling with them for depression and with the appropriate confidentiality maintained. Nobody have to know your business and things. Some people don't even know that yet because they don't even think like that.
Right.
Them say, oh, the health plan is it, I broke my foot or so and so whatever. But yeah, you have health plan where you can get help for mental health. I think that's just for an example. I'm just saying, Caribbean people look past on them people who can be good for some relationship issues and so forth and things like that. But for stuff like clinical depression and things like that, I know someone are gonna vex for hear this, but you don't need to have clinical depression and then somebody tell you, oh, just pray about it.
Yeah, man.
That now go help you. It's a God help those who help themselves. Go help yourself, professional interventionist.
Sure. Yeah, thanks for sharing, man, because I myself lost a good friend due to depression. It's one of them things, like you said, I never knew you. I mean, this guy, he was one of the funniest people I knew. And one day, he actually called me the night before and I missed the call. That's why now, every time I get a call, I always call back. But he called me, I missed the call, and I meant to call him back. And the next day, I got the message that, he took his life.
Wow.
So, I know it's something that it's in our community, a lot of men don't really talk about it, but it do exist because, we all have I believe you all live the life just in different cycles,
Look at Robin Williams.
Yeah.
One of the greatest comedians ever and was suffering from severe depression and took his own life.
Yeah.
Right? You have all these people out there who are, unfortunate examples of it. And be careful, of that person who you say out there who is a life of the party and funny all the time, and you just think so they have it all together. Very often, those people don't.
Yeah.
Very often, the people where you sit the wait. One of the reasons they're like that and feel compelled. You see them people who always want people over them house. Who always want to go somewhere.
Yeah.
And if them not go somewhere, if them not there's somewhere interact with other people, them have anxiety.
Yeah.
Those people who are afraid of being alone.
Mm.
But them now go say I'm afraid of being alone. Just through their actions, you see they don't like to be alone.
Yeah.
You know, those people who feel that they must necessarily be the life of the party.
Yeah.
And very often what they're doing is overcompensating for their depression, you know.
Yeah.
And so it is like when those people end up doing stuff to themselves, it's some people are surprised about, but she was so and so. They're all along, like you said, of your friend.
Wow. All right, Father Raga. Father Raga. This part of the podcast is called 2000 Questions About Me. It's based on a book that I brought a couple of years ago. I'm not going to ask you 2,000 questions, obviously, but I'm going to ask you to pick a number from 1 to 2,000, and the number that you pick is going to be the question that's asked out of the book.
1,777.
I know. You see, 1,700 and what was it again?
77.
77. All right, there we go. Boom, boom, boom. All right. Okay, do you believe in fairies? Do you believe in fairies? I guess fairies, fairy tales, fairies.
Do I believe in fairies?
Yeah.
Or fairy tales?
No, I added fairy tale, but it's fairies. Yeah.
No, well, the immediate answer is no. But I believe in playing with yourself, with playing imagination games.
Okay.
That could involve fairies or aliens or you living on another planet or you going to the core of Earth and becoming a fire god. Or
wow.
I believe in imagining stuff that could include fairies and so forth. And like, you know, being creative in your entertainment that may include fantastic or fantastical elements, you know, that add to the story in ways that have their own symbolism or meaning within the story, but they're presented as, you know, as a supernatural entity. You know, you watch a Black Panther and it's so when he's talking to the ancestors and thing and whatever,
true.
That passed on, you know, like that's you know, it's a fairy tale element. It's a fairy element. You know, the ancestors are coming back as a supernatural entity, a non-human entity, speaking to you, giving you counsel and whatever and so forth like that. So, I believe in that. So I deliberately do that. I imagine myself as a superhero at times, and I'm flying. Yeah, I'm flying, and doing good deeds and so forth. That is because I'm an entertainer, I'm a storyteller.
Yeah.
And that is what you do, you know. But don't be so constrained by the rules of the supposed rules of sanity and maturity that you believe that it's childish, you know, to play with supernatural elements and fairy tale elements and things. You just want to not get over there in a way where you think it's not real. Yeah, next thing you know, you're on the top of a building and be like, I believe I can fly. Don't do it. You will die. Okay. So these are, you take your little excursions of creativity into the supernatural space and so forth and things like that. But people do that in smaller ways. No, they just don't know they do it. You ever see, I can't remember when she clean, she's always talking to the things then.
Yeah.
What you do, yes or no? Would them never put you over, so you reach over, so you put right?
Yeah.
They do it in small ways, and that gives them, you know, a little fun and sanity in them thing, and have their own personal discourse.
Wow, I wasn't expecting that answer from that question, because when I first asked the question, I saw it and I was like, And this, boy, I gotta tell you, you really did a good job breaking it down. For that, man, I'm gonna give you a bonus, man. I want to give you as you, I'm gonna give you a bonus for another question.
All right. Another question. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Let's make it mischievous now. 69. Yeah. But we see what I'm going for 69. But we see if 69 is as good as they claim that.
You know what, man? You know what? 69 is kind of a serious question, but
Yeah, you see it? Yes.
Coming from you is funny still, but there you go, 69.
Yeah.
Have you ever had a health scare?
A health scare.
Yes. Have you ever had a health scare?
Yeah, and it go back to kind of some of the themes we were just discussing about mental health. So that was my biggest health scare to date. That was my biggest health scare. But along those lines, one of the things, for years I've been borderline diabetic.
Okay.
And some time ago the doctor says, see, you've just gone over the line now, so cut down on your sugar, cut down on your starch, and cut down on your processed food type of thing and whatever,
Yeah.
And I had no idea. We tend to look at these diseases as being isolated, but they are, our bodies are ecosystems, and everything is dependent on everything.
Yes.
So you may have a heart specialist or thing, you may go somewhere that liver, but we need to understand that what happened with the liver, it affects everything.
Yeah.
What happened with the pancreas affects everything. What happened with it? So once you approach things that way, then what the studies are showing right now is that the terminal illnesses that are out there, for example, what have they been survived? Why them terminal illness have been strong all along? Sugar. Them say sugar is a fuel. They find out for stuff like dementia, right? And certain cancers and whatever. Them say sugar been feeding them all along. But we grew up in a Caribbean where as soon as somebody's sick, the first thing we think about is like, get them some good food, man. Food, you feeling not good, man, and thing and whatever.
Yeah.
Without understanding that everything that goes into your body turns into sugar.
Sure.
Right? So you have some better than some, but it still turns into sugar.
And we consume a lot of starch.
We consume a lot of starch, rice and the dumpling and things like that, which was okay for us when we were so much more active in our Caribbean countries.
Yeah.
Or even if we're in the Caribbean countries now, every Caribbean country now you go to them have more cars than it was before.
Yeah.
Right. So people move less, right? You have more people doing work online and sit down, like me and you sit down now. It's imperative so we remain active, and watch what we eat and all them something that. So many of us have been conditioned to about these 3 meals a day. No human being needs 3 meals a day. But we were raised and told that we did.
Yeah.
No human being body needs 3 meals a day. Right? And that's too much sugar in our bloodstream and things. So when me start check out this thing, I realize that this thing is a serious thing where the diabetes thing impacts so many of the other things. Yeah. Diabetes impact your prostate, People don't know that, them think them separate, but your diabetes impact prostate health, right?
Yeah.
So stuff like that, and so in terms of the health care and thing, for a lot of our Caribbean men out there, we know it go unafraid of them something that we have to do with colonoscopy.
Yeah. I just had mine done early on last year. Yeah. Or recent.
Do it for yourself and do it for your loved ones. You don't even have to tell nobody say you do it. If you don't want nobody know because you feel funny about it.
Yeah.
It's invasive, it's probative, and it is, for many of you, it's a breach against your Caribbean masculine sensibilities. You understand that, right? But get it done.
Yeah.
and take care of yourself as best as possible. You owe
Yeah.
it to yourself, you owe it to those who want you around, and you owe it to those who sacrifice so that you could be here
Mm-hmm.
living, so that you can have life now. You have thousands of our ancestors who lived through 400 years of this thing, generation after generation, and just do what them did have to do to stay alive so that you could have come out here and there, right? So
Yeah.
go get your prostate test,
Mm.
go get your colonoscopy test, and get your heart test or and thing like that, and your vitamin D test and all of them, something there, your depression and thing, and take care of you. I remember Raga saying, laugh, learn, and grow.
Laugh, love.
Laugh, learn, and grow. And big up all Tam Famers, big up all Trini, and
Yeah.
big up all Jamaica, big up all like Trini them when I like Jamaican and thing, whenever. Yeah.
Uh,
And the Prime Minister of Trinidad when I told, boy, Miss
uh,
Prime Minister of Trinidad, the
uh,
Caribbean, I listen to you, but sound like you really care about me. Not think Alonzo, I don't know if you feel any way, I said it.
nah, man, do your thing, man. I
Okay.
mean, the
Miss
people.
Prime Minister of Trinidad, you not care about, you have this kind of unitary thing about you, you not really care about the Caribbean,
Mm.
Well, you come over that way there, like you don't really care about the rest of the Caribbean. So
Mm.
we are watching thing, and look like we have a look thing for Jamaicans, but in fairness,
Yeah.
some Jamaicans have a thing for some Trini too and thing. But
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
I say, Trini and Jamaicans, big up on yourself. Nothing wrong if we have a look of friendly competition and thing and whatever. Because one can't wine name the better than we, but we can wine better than one. Don't. I'm just making trouble. This is what Ragashanti does, okay? Lanza know me, Lanza understand me, but don't take it personal, all right?
Nah,
It's
man,
all
never.
good. It's all good. It's
One
all
love,
good.
man. You mentioned Jamaica, man. Listen, I've been to Jamaica a couple of times, and I would tell anybody, right? I always tell people this, especially my Trini people.
Yeah.
When you go to Jamaica, I would say it's a stereotype, but we hear these things going up Trinity, like Jamaica, la la la. But when I went to Jamaica, man, nothing but love. Then people was glad to see because when they look at you, they see a fellow countryman. You know what I mean? And Trinis love Jamaicans.
True.
You hear more dancehall than Trini, sad to say, than soca. You only hear soca predominantly, of course, around carnival time. But outside of carnival, it's dancehall straight through.
No, but a lot of Trinis have problem with that,
Yeah, well, I mean, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. Because once again, go back to what we were talking about earlier on. Me as a youth, I love soca, calypso. I grew up on that, but I also identify with reggae because I grew up in a very conscious family with African culture and stuff like that. So I could identify with reggae. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So of course, once you're in reggae, dancehall, it's brother sister type thing. So all that stuff was part of who I am. That's why even when I got into the music thing, a lot of Jamaica was surprised that I knew so much like roots, like foundation music, because that's what I do.
Right.
So like I said, is one. I look at myself as a Caribbean man. At the end of the day, is one people, man. One people, one culture. One family. That's how I look at it,
I've never been to Trinidad and I need to go.
No, man, Raga.
I one time I was going to Guyana back and forth and changed flight in the airport, but I've never been out in Trinidad. Never.
Nah, you gotta go to Trinidad.
It's on my bucket list, I want to go to Trinidad, man.
Yeah, we go talk further, man. We go talk further than that.
All right, cool.
Before we wrap it up, man, I want you to tell folks about your show that you do, online, and I know you got the website. I know you got the,
Yeah, man. So I'm online on TikTok on Mondays to Thursdays from 6 p.m. until 9 p.m. Right, and it's on the RAGASHANTI. That's it. What you see there, RAGASHANTI. It's best that you put that in and go there to see me. Sometimes I'm a little late. I may not start until 6:30, just letting you know. But in general, it's supposed to be from 6 o'clock until 9 o'clock. Then also invite you to join me and the Tam Famers over tamfambigyard.com, or you can go to tamfamyard.com. You go to it's the same place, right? And it's my online community, right? And we do a bunch of stuff over there, Caribbean flavored stuff. international stuff and thing, but it's mostly Caribbean flavored stuff and thing.
Yeah.
And it's an online community, and the structure is similar to what you would have over Facebook, but it's just our community.
Yeah.
And I'm going to have a whole bunch of events over there. We're
Yeah.
going to have comedy shows, we're going to have fashion show, we're going to have cook off, we're going to have mix up off or joke off, or we're going with a bag of something over there. And it's a community where you can send friend requests, make friends, form groups just like Facebook, instant message, video. So if you see somebody who you like, you can do video, you look a video, do with them if you want and thing or whatever. So it's just like a fun community. And again, I invite you to join tamfambigyard.com. You can join for free. tamfambigyard.com, tamfamyard.com. And once you join, you will learn what goes on with the family of Tam Fam World sites, which is outorder.com, where we have the home of our now famous sex entertainment talk show. You have ragashanti.com, which is my page, and then you have tamfamtv.com, which is content associated with Tam Fam that you can watch over there. And so we'll let you know. But the main page that you're supposed to go to is tamfamyard.com or tamfambigyard.com. Come join for free. And I want to thank you, Alonzo, for having me. I look a pop down man like myself. All right, and what your reason. And I respect your humility too, and your grace. I know you have a calm, steady presence, dairy and unnecessary excitement and thing. You think that's balance and solid. Big up yourself, man. See?
Yeah, man. But give thanks, man. Much appreciation, man, for the time and opportunity. And of course, man, your contribution to the arts and culture. Like I said, man, when I first reached out to you, I told you your story needs to be told by you. You have a very extensive story, and I believe it's very inspirational and very motivational to someone I've been listening right now, man, because your journey is man, it's you pretty much beat the odds, honestly, coming up from where you came from.
Give thanks.
Yeah, man. So Father Raga, keep up the great works, man.
Manners and blessings, man. All right, respect my dad. Cool.
Ladies and gentlemen, Ragashanti.
Man.